We send the occupiers to help. How it happens? Our crew conducts indirect fire from an anti-aircraft gun against advancing enemy infantry. It used to be possible to work openly, but now it's difficult because there are many drones, many anti-tank guided missiles, and the difficult terrain doesn't allow moving to a distance of 2 kilometers to the enemy. We have a multi-purpose armored vehicle, which is popularly called a motoliga, on which we have installed ZU-23-2. This is a TOW 23mm anti-aircraft twin autocannon. Basically, there are two huge machine guns that work at the same time. We have several types of ammunition, some of them high explosive fragmentation we use for air targets, when the weather and the target's flight height allow us. Against ground targets, we use armor-piercing ammunition, sometimes tracer, because we cannot see the target clearly enough. The plus is that we work in any weather: rain, mud, drought, snow. The minus is a great danger for the guys who sit and work from the outside, because there is no protection there. You're sitting on this chair, our rangefinder operator and a gunner could sit there. Now the rangefinder operator is not needed. The unit commander adjusts the firing, 2 people charge. The main thing is to reload and shoot very quickly in order to get back very quickly. Recently, Russians began to go out from trenches openly in their full height. Once we were told that occupiers are walking across the field at a distance of 600 meters, that they are moving to a certain square. We is given information about territory, dividing some zone into squares. When data is transmitted to us, we act on alerts. When we work with intelligence, the data is very accurate. An enemy group entered somewhere, we went and worked on it in the evening. After that, listening to their conversations, it was learned that out of 6 enemies, 5 were neutralized and 1 was missing. See the point. We can destroy air targets flying below 1.5 kilometers. And everything above, we can't, because the ammunition has a liquidator, thanks to which it detonates after 8 seconds of its flight. We can only work against small drones at low altitudes in normal weather. Shahed 136 drones do not fly near the front. Our colleagues near cities in the rear are working against them. As for why enemy drones fly to large cities, everything depends only on the number of weapons. It would be possible to talk about an air shield if anti-aircraft autocannons stood at least every 3 kilometers. But we don't have that much. Our mobile fire groups are also a cool thing. They are quite effective against the Shahed 136, but imagine everything through the eyes of the enemy. The person who programs the drone has electronic topographic maps with geographic height data. They constantly make changes when laying out routes. If we analyze the movements of those drones, there are several specific places where they usually fly to Kyiv. In these places, they are mostly shut down, but they still fly to the same point. And there are other cases when the routes are laid 3 kilometers to the side at the lowest possible altitude. Such drones often crash into high-rise buildings. One of the reasons, probably, is such unexpected routes when Russian operators, in order to avoid being hit, do not take into account the fact that there are 20 or 30-story high-rise buildings built there. On the other hand, drones can use low fly and fly into ravines, then radars don't see them. That is, they disappear from detection and then unexpectedly appear 5 kilometers to the right, and then the mobile fire groups doesn't have time to arrive at the right place because it was sent to a different route, and you won't be able to reach it. There are tricksters there too. They also learn quickly. The one who is smarter and who prepares people better will win, I think so. Basically, the training of anti-aircraft gunners takes 3-6 months to train a normal specialist. Half a year is already a dream. Let's take a person with zero readiness as an example. First, we send him to our training ground for basic infantry training, because in the war, you're an anti-aircraft gunner until this machine of yours is burned down. As soon as it was burned, you become an infantryman. All soldiers need to know all the basic things of survival and actions in the combat zone. What is a shelter, how to make a trench, and how not to die in the first day. Then, when a person already has basic training, we can already speak at least one language. For professional training, which lasts several weeks, you really need to charge the box more than 100 times. Every action should be remade to automatism. It's not like you know in theory how things work. No, you come, do everything quickly, and it's not difficult for you. Plus, we need to go to the front line with a recruit for the first time so that he can shoot as much he could. Then his eyes are already burning. He's satisfied with himself and wants to work. They will then argue among their team about who will work because everyone wants to. Especially it works even better when there is confirmation of an effective result that the enemy has been hit. The team even has the competition. They count who shoot more ammo boxes and compete in this. In addition, we always ask about the impressions of training from those who have completed it. There are those who are delighted and liked everything, but there are also those who come and complain that it was difficult for them, they barely survived it. Such people sometimes ask, "Give me paperwork, this is my mission. I want to be useful, but I'm physically unable to work as an anti-aircraft gunner." No problem, they're always needed. There's also a lot of documentation work even in the war zone. We try to give rest after rotation whenever possible. Of course, everyone would like more rest. And then when you return, the cycle of all emotions and inspiration for work is repeated. A week of training on the training ground, a week of economic affairs, the time comes, and we return to the front again. The most difficult moment for me was at the beginning of the full-scale invasion. I told my family to leave Kyiv, and the village they went were surrounded by Russians. My wife called me and said that there are Russian tanks going through the village. And at this time I had to turn off my phone, and it was unknown how long I wouldn't be in touch, because at this moment we were fighting near Huta, also in Kyiv region, and I seen all the horror around the killed and wounded ones. Thought about what my family was going through at that moment. It was so difficult that you can't go to save them, because you're needed here and now. And so time passes, your very close friends have been killed, you see how the occupiers destroy cities, other people's lives. And after all this, to go somewhere, to hide, I can't even imagine such action. I love this country. Have you seen the scenery around? We drove through the hills, words cannot express how beautiful it is. I come from Chernihiv region, where there are many forests and clean rivers. I love it. It's very similar here. We have the sea and 4 full-fledged seasons. We have everything we need to be happy when we are not attacked. Therefore, not liking this place, this country, in my opinion, is wrongful. Yes, it's not the best country in the world. We have huge problems with corruption. The biggest problem is the impunity for such crimes. When we know about the actions of some persons, we have all the evidence, investigations, we know about the scale of these actions, but they are not punished. This is a big minus, but this problem depends on us. The war is not on us. As for our country, I was born here. I swore an oath to the Ukrainian people, and I can't stand the fact that some scum can be brought here from 1,000 kilometers away and they will do whatever they want. No, it won't be like that. It shouldn't be like that in the 21st century. We must fight against this filth, drive them out, and then to establish order and laws among themselves.